Hi everyone, I'm Sam from Golf Saved My Life, and this is 9 Holes, 9 Questions. On this show we treat 9 questions like 9 holes and use them to walk through someone's story in golf, where they came from, where their game is now, and how the sport fits into their life and mental health. We split the round into 3 parts: holes 1 through 3, where we focus on your golfing origins; holes 4 through 6, where's your game right now and the grind we're all working on; holes 7 through 9, we focus on mindset, pressures and life off of the course. If you love honest conversations about golf, blow-up holes, breakthroughs, and the way this game can both test you and save you, you're in the right place. Let's head off to the first tee. This is 9 Holes, 9 Questions.
Welcome back to 9 Holes, 9 Questions, and this week we're joined by Paul, otherwise known as Insta Golf or Pursuit for Par. You find across Instagram and TikTok. How you doing, Paul?
Very good, thank you. You've just made me realise that I really do need to actually get a consistent name across all my social media, because even on Facebook it's just my name, Paul Jackson, and I think YouTube it's PursuitForParGolf. So we're not home. We need to get working on that pretty soon, I think.
We need a rebrand, don't we? A big event just to get it all under one roof.
Possibly. I think so, probably, yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, well thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. Right, we'll crack on. We'll work through the questions. So if we can work back to, early days, your first real memories of golf, not just, watching it on TV, or, what was the big part that clicked for you where, it's something that you wanted to throw yourself into or get more involved in?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, this, because I can't really remember a very specific moment in terms of when I first ever picked up a golf club. I guess it would have been like playing pitch and putt, which probably people nowadays probably go, what the hell is pitch and putt? Like if you're of a certain age, because they just don't really exist anymore, right?
No, they've disappeared, haven't they? Largely.
Pretty much. I mean, obviously they're probably not making any money. That's probably why people probably thinking that land could be used for other things. But ultimately, like pitch and putt used to be equivalent of a very, very small par 3 course. And I remember playing that with my dad, like, relatively young, but I couldn't tell you what age it was. But I think more interesting for me, golf really kind of started for me as a sport that I just took maybe a little bit more serious and obviously went on to play on like full length golf courses when I was around about 14, 15. Now, the reason why that is probably, the main reason was when I was younger, around the age of sort of 12, I think it was around about 12, 13, I think it was about 12. So it was first to second, in between sort of first and second year of secondary school. I actually had a very serious injury.
Okay.
People might not know this, I'm actually completely blind in my left eye.
Okay.
So I had to stop playing physical sports. So I used to be very active as a kid. I used to play football all the time, play tennis, swimming, rugby, cricket, you name it, I was involved in it. But because of the injury and what happened, I couldn't do any physical sports. I mean, to be honest with you, from that moment onwards, I wasn't allowed to do things like rugby anymore, boxing,
of course,
any kind of full contact sport. And I wasn't allowed to play football for a few years as well. But golf was the kind of sport that I could probably safely do.
Yeah.
Because it didn't involve, obviously, it doesn't involve physical contact unless you get hit by a golf ball. You want to try and avoid at any point in time. So I think I just started, it was kind of my release of like doing some kind of sport, and golf came a little bit natural to me, I think, as well. Like I didn't feel like I knew like getting the club behind the ball and just swinging out and hitting the ball was a natural thing for me now. Like, and I mean, I was very self-taught for many years. We might get into that a little bit more in this episode. But it was just a natural thing for me to do. And it was kind of an easy thing for me to kind of get back into from a sporting perspective. And then it's just never really left me, I think, till now, really. So, as I say, weren't a specific kind of memory, but it was a kind of, I remember it as a specific time in my life where actually golf came into my life at a time where I was probably like a teenager that was kind of trying to work out life a little bit, but ultimately trying to get back into sport. And this is my way of getting back into it effectively.
It must have been quite reassuring. It must have been quite nice to, like I say, being so sports heavy and then to, have your injury and losing your sight, to then find something where you can throw yourself back and be and have a sport that you can just go out and enjoy again.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, it was release of actually being able to go and do something rather than. I mean, I went through a period. God, this is getting deep, but many people won't even know this. But I went through quite a lot of. There was a lot of recovery involved in what I was doing. So ultimately, I spent quite a lot of, with part of 12 to 18 months, probably at home in bed, recovering and not being the active teenager that you want to be. So golf was kind of one of them things where I'm pretty sure it was my dad who just maybe took me to a driving range or something like that. And we just started hitting golf balls, and I kind of remember that. And it felt like a safe place for me to start being active again and playing sport again in some capacity. Little did I know, years and years later on, it would consume me the way it's consumed me, right?
All encompassing, yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly it. So, I mean, that's the crazy thing, I suppose, our life and how the world works sometimes. But no, look, I just knew that I enjoyed the sport immediately. And like, I knew that was half decent at it as well. And I think that's with me with sport in general. I was always quite natural at picking up sports quite quickly.
Yeah.
And golf was kind of that as well for that sort of, I mean, I don't ever remember thinking this is a hard game. It is a hard game to play, but ultimately, like, as a beginner, trying to hit a golf ball and putt and things like that, I didn't find the basics of it too difficult. Getting better at it.
Yeah.
Quite challenging, but ultimately, I loved it the minute I picked it up, and I have done ever since, really.
I think the way I've always looked at it is it's a hard game to be very good at golf, but it's not a hard game to enjoy. So you can, any ability, you can go out on 9 or 18 holes or whatever you want to, and actually just enjoy being out for a few hours and hitting a ball, whether you ping pong or left to right across the fairway, or whether you're half decent, you can strike one down the middle. It's this, I think, of any ability, you go to these golf days and you're with all sorts of handicap abilities playing with each other, and ultimately you're all just having a nice time. But yeah, it's when it starts getting competitive, that's when it gets a bit more difficult, doesn't it?
Well, I think it comes down to a bit of like how much expectation you put on your game as well, right?
Yeah,
so
massively.
Like, ultimately back then, I don't remember ever putting much expectation on my game.
No.
I obviously wanted to play well, and I wanted to compete, and I wanted to score as low as possible. I kind of remember then memories a little bit, but I wouldn't beat myself up about it too much, because ultimately as well, I got to an age as well where I did start playing other sports again. So I was able to play football again at some point, and I was able to do other things eventually. And golf kind of wasn't really where it was kind of a nice outlet for me between sort of the age of 14 and 16. After that, it was kind of like maybe an activity I just did in the summer.
Yeah.
Right. And it was just something I picked up in the summer and played it for a few months. And then as the colder sort of weather comes in, that takes a back seat and we get to playing football again, or we get to do something effectively. That kind of happened for quite a period of time in my life as well. In truth.
Great. Thanks for that. Well, that sort of segues nicely into sort of hole 2's handicap. So where's your game at now? If we're looking at handicaps, what's a good round for you at the moment? What do you think I played well today, or
I would say currently at the minute, I would say, so I'm between, obviously we're at the beginning of February now, right, in 2020.
Yeah.
I would say between mid-October to Christmas, I've never played better golf in my life. And I even coming out of Christmas into the new year, maybe not quite playing as well as that, but I'm still playing to a pretty decent standard. Now, my handicap, I actually started this time last year, I was a 12 handicap.
Okay.
And now I think my handicap's now 4.8.
That's incredible, isn't it? I mean, 12 handicap's a great handicap to be at anyway, but then to drop, that's a sizable drop in that amount of time, isn't it? By any standard, really.
I would say the drop also happened from mid-October. I was 12, I kind of got down to round about the end of September, beginning of October. I think I was probably playing off around about an 8 or 9 handicap. I was kind of, and all of a sudden, bang, I started playing really well in the autumn and kind of going into the winter. And I was thinking, what a weird time to start playing really good golf now. Like, how is this even happening? And I just started shooting really, really low rounds. I mean, I had a round at Western back in October where it kind of clicked. I just had one of them rounds where it just all clicked. And all of a sudden, I mean, to talk you through that a little bit, I went to Western about 2 or 3 weeks before. And I didn't shoot anything particularly groundbreaking. I probably shot I think I might have shot 87, 88, something like that. Right?
Okay, yeah.
And then I came back, it's about 2 or 3 weeks later, and I filmed. This is the day I was going to do the filming of my, you know what I do. I play it, I review golf courses, or watch this, don't know what I'm doing. My content around golf is reviewing golf courses and filming them and filming about the whole experience. And this particular day, I went back to Westrum. I thought, right, I'm going to film it and document the whole day as I usually do. That first hole, I birdied. Second hole, birdied. Third hole, birdied. I'm 3 under through 3 holes. This has never happened in my life, right? And I'm thinking, wow, what a start this is. And then I kind of kept it together a little bit. And then I think I might have dropped 1 shot. So I'm 2 under going into 8.
Yeah.
I think it was. No, tell her like I wasn't. I was, no, I must have been, yeah. I think I was. I was 2 under going into 8. I dropped 1 shot. And then I've made this massive birdie putt, right, to then go back to 3 under. So all of a sudden, I'm going down the 9th on 3 under. I've ended up parring that hole. So I'm now 3 under, I think, going into the back 9. And I'm thinking, oh my God, like, am I about to shoot an under par round here?
Yeah.
Or in my head, actually, I was probably thinking, if I can get into level par here, I've done bloody well. I've never shot a level.
Yeah, yeah.
In fact, I think my best round previous to that might have been 4 over.
Okay.
It's my best ever round before that was 4 over.
Yeah, yeah. Still great round. Yeah.
And I managed to keep it together to some degree. And I think I ended up shooting 2 under. I finished on 2 under. I shot 70 round there. And I learned to kind of, in that back 9, with all the kind of pressure that goes on in your head, right? When you've never done this before. My brain was going, oh my God, don't throw it away. Don't throw it away. Don't do this. Don't do that. Like, don't bottle it. And I just found a way of I'd somehow, hole by hole, just managed to knock off 1 hole after another. And then I came off that round and I shot 2 under. And obviously,
that's amazing.
My handicap's going to drop from that point onwards quite a bit.
Yeah,
but it just gave me the confidence, Sam, to kind of like, hold up a second, you can actually do this. Like, you've got, I might touch upon this later on, but like, I've really spent a lot of time with people understanding how the golf swing works.
Mm-hmm.
So now I understand the mechanics of it quite a lot, but now it's kind of having that trust of it all. And I thought, actually, no, I can do it. And then off the back of that, I mean, I've never shot an under par round since then. I will add that. I've shot my best rounds in the last sort of few months in that period ever. So I went and played other golf courses, shot a couple of rounds where I've only gone 1 over. I've shot a few rounds, 2 over, 3 over. All of a sudden, my scores where I was kind of maybe shooting regularly kind of anywhere between, I don't know, like say you've got a par 72. I think my rounds have been somewhere in the region before that, round about anywhere. I might have just about broken 80. So I might have shot a 79, but it probably ranges somewhere between 85, 86.
Yeah, yeah.
I've now got into that period where I'm now shooting rounds in the 70s.
This is it.
And I've got that confidence in there all of a sudden kind of happening. But it's just happened at a really weird time. And I think ultimately, like, you asked the question, when's the best time you ever played golf? It's now for me.
Yeah.
I'm on the kind of, I feel like I'm on the up with the game now. And I just hope I can continue it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's that form that you now want to roll into spring and summer, don't you? When the playing conditions are going to potentially get even better. And if you can carry on that good form, then, you know, who knows where that handicap's just going to hope that trajectory keeps us heading downwards.
Yeah, I think for me as well, like one of the things I've kind of maybe spotted a little bit, because I've played a lot of golf, more golf than probably most people normally would between sort of now and like the beginning of autumn. So talk about October's kind of the beginning of autumn, winter for us in golf.
Yeah.
I've probably played more golf in that period of time than I've ever played, but also probably far more than the average person has. And I think what I've probably just done as well a little bit is I've kind of maybe worked out some of the things that you do in winter golf that help you score better a little bit. I've worked a few things out.
Yeah.
I know when I'm playing in the summer. In my bag at the moment, I've got about 5 different wedges, believe it or not.
Okay.
I've got 60 degree, I've got 56, 52, a gap wedge, a pitching wedge. Now when I play in the winter, I probably use only 2 of them wedges.
Okay.
Because I've learned that actually trying to hit a 60 degree or something with a lot of loft actually causes a few problems with the strike. Because you know what it's like.
Yeah.
A bit stickier, it's a bit muddier. You maybe potentially could fat things a little bit more. So I get a bit more control with like a gap wedge or a pitching wedge.
Yeah, you're not
It's
quite
just
digging
them
into the ground quite as much there, are you, in the wet
It's just
conditions?
them little things. Yeah, it's just them little things that I've kind of worked out that actually, and they've just kept my scores ticking along. Obviously, when you go back into spring, summer, we can start using the full array of of wedges. But that's just one of the things that's kind of maybe worked for me a little bit at this point in time. But look, I'm loving it. This is the thing. I'm enjoying my game at the moment, and I'm hoping it can last.
Yeah. Fingers crossed it does. Well, so on that, I mean, we spoke a bit about it, but what's the what's the key moment in your journey? So is there a particular moment I mean, we've spoke a bit about it in the first question about period in your golf journey that really changed everything for you. Was it a particular round? I mean, we spoke about your injury as a child and getting into golf. What made golf differently, or what made you take it more seriously?
I think recently in life, I think in the last 2 years. So I've always played golf, and as I said, I've always been kind of a player that's played mainly in the summer, seldomly play in the autumn, winter, up until the last couple of years. I would say it was the beginning of, where are we at now? I would say I probably started taking it a bit seriously during 2024.
Okay. Yeah.
Probably the beginning of 2024. Actually, I realised in my game I couldn't get any. I've been a very self-taught golfer for most of my life, and I managed to get my handicap kind of down to around about sort of 10. It might have peaked a little bit lower than that on odd occasions, but on average, I got myself down to a 10 handicap. But then I realised I couldn't get better on my own. Like, in fact, if anything, my game was regressing quite a bit, because where I've adopted loads of habits, trying to get down to, like, I can do certain things really well, but then I've adopted more and more habits to the point where actually they're becoming more and more profound. So I just took the decision I need to start getting some regular coaching, and that's what I started doing. I went to, I'm not a member of a club anywhere.
No.
I went to a club that was nearby me called Heron Country Club. They've got it's in Brentwood in Essex, and they've got an academy there called Mark Davis Academy. I heard a bit about Mark. Mark had played on the European tour, and I thought, let's just invest a bit of time in actually getting some lessons, getting on the driving range and working my swing. Now, luckily, when I started doing, the weather wasn't good enough for me to go out on the golf course anyway. I was spending quite a few months on the driving range or doing lessons with Mark pretty much on a weekly basis. I was really kind of that invested in it. And I think with him, he's kind of over time, he's given me the sort of the tools and the skill set to understand the golf swing a lot more and understand my golf swing. So talking through this now, I'm like, oh my God, there were so many key moments to probably where I'm at now.
Yeah.
But one of them, obviously, is like starting the lessons, understanding the swing. The other thing was I started then, I invested in a tripod.
Okay. Yeah.
With my phone, and it was to swing. It was basically to film my golf swing, to sort of see what I was doing and kind of actually look at how it's like. It's very different from, like, when you'll know this as well, right? When we play golf, we hit the ball. We're all working on feel, but we have no idea what it actually really looks like until someone films you. You look at it, and then you can then kind of understand you might be doing or what you might not be doing as such. And that's what I started doing. So I started filming my swing. And working on my game and trying to understand things. And I was doing more and more filming of my swing that I actually it then started the process of maybe creating content a little bit with it. Now, at the time, I was already doing a bit of content as well. So there wasn't a new thing for me at that moment in time.
No.
But it kind of started evolving, and then all of a sudden I started doing golf content off the back of it. So, I mean, for me, as I said, it's been the last 2 years, that journey of learning what the swing's meant to look like and what I'm meant to be doing. Then obviously the pivotal moments for me would be like filming myself, which then evolves into content and then evolves into what I'm doing on social media.
Yeah.
It's just been moments like that over time, over the last 2 years till today, really. So, yeah, I mean, I would have said this time 2 years ago, that is where it kind of all started, I think.
So you got Mark and the Heron Club to an awful lot of thanks there.
Well, I've definitely got thanks for them in terms of understanding the golf swing. But yeah, to a degree, in a kind of, in a weird way, yes, I think it is. Like, all of a sudden, I alluded to before, but I wanted to kind of, I think this happened kind of simultaneously a little bit. I had a bit of a sort of moment, I think, at the back end of 2024, where I was like, right, I want to start doing some different things in my life. I probably got myself in a bit of a rut. in life
Yeah.
a little. We all do, right? And
Yeah.
and in that lead up to, you know what it's like? You want to think of new ideas of kind of like new year, new me, all this kind of stuff that
Yeah.
we all talk about. And we all, I still do it now to a certain degree. But I kind of felt like I wanted to get a head start of it in December. I wanted
Yeah.
to start things before New Year. Why wait till then? And one of the things I really wanted to do is really really embark on my creative side a little bit. Like I've always had this itch and this desire to be creative and in some way, and maybe like what I was doing professionally, it wasn't kind of meeting them needs and demands that I wanted in that part of my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
My other half, she works in social media. She does social media, works with businesses and brands, and she's always talking to me about like what campaigns she's working with all these different creators and stuff.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
And
Yeah.
I kind of went, oh, I wouldn't mind trying to do something like that. And she went, well,
Yeah.
why didn't you start doing something on TikTok? Now I've never done TikTok in my life, never even seen TikTok. But she went, why don't you come up with something, work on it, see if you like it, and go from it. And I actually started doing content on darts.
Okay.
So it was the World Championships around that time. I was talking about all the different games, but it was getting me used to being in front of a camera talking and blah, blah, blah. And then I did that up until about, obviously, the World Championships ended at the beginning of January. And then it was like, well, what's now after? And then that's kind of where I think I had that bit of I was trying to scratch around what I wanted to do from a concept. Like, could I talk about darts a bit more? But then the dart season's a bit kind of sporadic.
It's weird, isn't it? Yeah.
It's not, yeah. And also, I'm not that great a dart player. I'm all right, but I'm not like, no one's going to really want to watch me play darts. So maybe for a period of time between that January and I should say June, July of 2020, where are we at? 2024.
Yeah.
2024? Yeah. Trying to work out where we are now. I was probably just working out what I wanted to do from I enjoyed it, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I think with the lessons and filming myself on the golf side of things, I think it kind of just went, right, I'm going to start doing golf content creation from that point onwards.
It's easy, isn't it? Because you've got that massive footage just on your phone sitting doing absolutely nothing. Really similar to how I started, because I started doing lessons and every lesson would start the same. It's like, oh, you're still coming a bit over the top. And in your head, you're like, no, I'm not, because I don't feel like I'm going over the top. So I thought, oh, one day I'll film myself at the range, and literally 2 seconds into it, I'm like, oh no, there it is, shoulders coming over. And then after like a couple of weeks, I've got hours and hours of this footage. And exactly like you, I just thought, well, I might as well do something with it. And that's how it started for me. I just thought I'd stick it on TikTok or Instagram or whatever it was. And then, but yeah, it's so easy when it's there at your fingertips, isn't it, really?
And I'll ask you a question as well. Like, at the time when that was kind of happening, was you consuming a lot of golf content at that time as well? Like, was you watching much golf content?
Probably a bit, not as much as I do now, but I think where I've become a bit more engulfed in that side of things, it's naturally got a lot worse. But
yeah, I mean, I'm the same. But I mean, at the time, I remember being really consumed with golf I was watching golf content.
Yeah.
I remember the one I always loved, and I was watching back then, was Golf Life. And then
I love Golf Life. Yeah,
the delusion in my head started kicking in and going, I could do that. I could do all that stuff. Or it was more like, that looks great. I want to do something like that. And and that's where it kind of all started. And I thought, right, and that point between learning the game again a little bit, and also maybe the start of the content journey. This has been a long answer to your question. But
no, crack on, mate.
I've got there. I think with them two things in mind, that was the moment that I've really started taking golf seriously.
Yeah.
It was that moment of, hold up a second, I want to get better, but actually, wouldn't it be cool if I could document this in some way or create content around all of that? And that for me has been the moment since probably that summer where I started that golf. I've started Pursuit for Par on TikTok, and it was just a case of trial and error with golf content from that point onwards, but also really getting obsessed with the game a lot more in terms of getting better and understanding how to improve my game from that point onwards.
And like you say, you weren't necessarily fulfilled on your creative side with what you were doing at the time. So it's a big tick for that as well, because it allows you to pursue a passion while also have that creative side that you can, and that side of things just gets more and more involved, doesn't it? The more you invest into it.
So it was basically scratching a massive itch that I had, and it was starting to do that. And ultimately, you go through that journey of like, okay, well, what does my content side of it look like?
Yeah.
as well as obviously trying to get better at golf as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hopefully they both move in the same direction. That's the
exactly.
Brilliant. Thanks, Paul. So hole 4, bag and a brain. So if we had your bag in front of us and you could pick one bit of tech or one club or, you know, one item that you can't live without, what's the story behind it? What makes that piece of gear so special for you?
I don't think there's one particular club. Okay. I thought it used to be my putter. I was very loyal to my 2-ball Odyssey putter for many, many years. I probably had it, blimey, I can't remember when I got it, but it would have been, it could be at least 15 to 20 years old. I had that in the bag. And then
wow. Okay.
And then I won a lap putt. One of these
wow. Okay.
I had a go at it and I went, see you later, 2-ball. You're in. So I mean, I think I don't think there's any club in the bag that I can say. The only bit of kit I would say for me would be, it'll probably be, is it the Arcos app that I've got? I think I've
yes.
That, right?
Yeah, Arcos, yeah.
I can never say that name right. I mean, imagine me trying to get a sponsorship deal. Yeah, I can't say their name, but
it's a big tick. You got it right here, so you're fine.
Yeah, that is what I can't live. It's such a good app, by the way. Like in terms of, it just tells me all of my yardages. If I know my yardages, then I know what club I need to be at. It's as simple as that. But ultimately for them, it's a bit of a cheat, guys. If you've never seen it before, but it's well worth the money. It will tell you yardage in terms of like, it's 100, say it's 170 yards. It'll tell you it's 170 yards, but it'll actually tell you what it's playing.
Yeah.
And it factors in weather conditions, whether you're going downhill, uphill, like elevation. I'm trying to find the word. Elevation is the word I was looking for. It will tell you all of that. It will give you like wind, like directions, how much it could gust up to and things like that. So all of a sudden, like, it's changed my game in the sense of like, it just tells me how far actually some holes are actually playing. And it's most times, I mean, pretty much every time really, it's bang on correct. Even when you think it can't be that. I'll give you an example, Sam. I did a video recently on a series called Pursuit for Par Challenge, where I just play one hole and I just show whether I can par the hole or not.
Yeah.
It was a par 3 I played. It was over at Golf World Stansted. 140 yards out it was to the middle of the pin. Now, normally 140 yards, it's probably, it's either a hard pitching wedge or a sort of normal 9-iron for me to kind of get there. But if I didn't have that app, I'd have been dead in the water that's in front of it. I would have been in the water big time, because what it was actually playing was about 195 yards. So I took a 5-iron out and I said, it ain't 5-iron, it's only 140 yards. I just about got the green. So that's, for me, definitely the one thing I probably can't live without at the moment, golf-wise, is that app.
It's invaluable, isn't it? Like the GPS and tech that's in golf now for the everyday golfer is completely changed the way you can score. Like I say, if on a normal day you'd have picked up your pitching wedge or 9 or whatever, like I say, that's that hole written off. You know, it's double bogey on a good day. So yeah, and that's 2 episodes and 2 people have said exactly the same now. So there you go.
Oh, have they? It's a bit of kit that I remember, Sam, when I first I did a trip to Portugal. I want to say it was about 10 years ago. Let's call it 10 years ago. And I was so green to it all, right? First trip away abroad. And I went to Portugal. It was around about May time. And that was the biggest learning curve, because all the people that I went with, they were all clued up golf nuts, golf enthusiasts, a bit like I am now, right?
Yeah.
And they had the GPS watches. I've never seen that before in my life. They even had wet weather gloves. I think, what's that? And I said, why do you need that? I mean, they knew what the weather forecast was going to be that weekend. It absolutely torrential. I had to walk off, and they can still play because they've got all the gear.
Yeah.
It was a whole like eye opener to how you can, when you get involved in it, what kit and what equipment you can kind of have to help aid your game effectively. Like, we can have all the clubs in the bag, and people can say like, oh, I love my 7-iron, or I love my driver, or I love my putter. But ultimately, like, you can swap them out. But actually, it's the little fine. These are the gains I think that people can have in their game that can kind of really help make their round a more like a successful round, knowing what oddities are. You obviously need to know how far you hit each shot as well, right? You have to put on the driving range to do that. So there's that side of it. But once you know what your yardage are, you know how far you hit most shots, that piece of kit makes makes life around the golf course so much easier.
Yeah, I've started using the shot scope tags that come with the watch, and it's been like, even over the first couple of rounds, it's been really insightful. Just like you say, you pick up an 8-iron, you look down at your watch and you're saying, oh, you should probably take a 5 or a 6 here. That's going to save you multiple, but over 18 holes, by the time that compounds, you can save God knows what across the round. I think this year is going to be really interesting to see how much it tracks, and because I've only just started using it, so I'm only just starting to build up that data. So it'd be good to see by the time we get to next winter.
I was going to say one disclaimer though, if anyone watching this and thinking, can I use this in competitions? I'll just double. Sometimes it gets frowned upon, but if you're playing a normal round of golf, like I don't get involved in, I don't play much competitive golf at all, right? But ultimately, like if you're playing a normal round of golf and you want to just enjoy it a bit more, go and invest in things like, was it Shot Scope that you use?
Yeah, there's so many there, isn't there? Shot Scope, Arcos is a really good system as well. There's Garmin have, I think, their own tag system. So yeah, it's definitely worth an investment, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And it can tell you how far you hit each club as well. It's another way of actually measuring that. Actually, how far do I hit my driver on a golf course, or how far do I hit my 5-wood, etc., etc. It can do all them kind of measurements as well. So
yeah,
this is not an advertisement. Like we're not being paid to say this stuff, but trust me, these are good bits of kit to have.
Yeah, I mean, the range can be a bit deceptive with yardages, can't they? Like the amount of people who say, oh, they'll hit a 187 iron or whatever else, but when you get, and that's off a flush square mat, the chances of you having those conditions on an actual course doesn't always work like that. Realistically, you're not always going to hit that exact number every time. So having that analytical data over 4 or 5 rounds and seeing what you do actually hit a 7-iron in real world conditions, it could be game changing.
There's a couple of things that factor in with range, but if people are thinking, hold up, I'm not hitting the ball as far as I expect to hit, or I'm hitting it further, you're right. Weather conditions, you never quite know what the way the wind is. Sometimes you just got to bear in mind that one day you're hitting into wind one day, right? So you have to factor that in. The other thing that I think people don't realise is the quality of golf balls at driving ranges. They're not normally as good as the ones that you're going to play with on the golf course.
No, and they vary so much from range to range as well, like massively.
Quality of them as well. Like I know, like some of the ranges I've been to, like they've now got like tricks and golf balls in, but I always kind of look at the quality of, some of them are brand new, some of them have been worn away. The trick I always do, guys, the brand new ones, save that for your driver, because you'll get more of an idea of it, because that's the club you kind of want to know how far you really hit in. All of the kind of the mouldier ones, should we say, save them for your wedges and your shots. Like that'd be my advice. But that is one of the things that you have to factor in. Is actually sometimes you go to these ranges, the golf balls are not the same quality. So
no,
there's all things to sort of bear in mind and think about. I think when you're going to practice.
There you go. That segues quite nicely into hole 5 then, Paul. So practice versus real life. So if we're working on our game, what does your practice sessions look like week to week? How often are you, I know you play a lot on course, but how often are you out there grinding or hitting balls, or, what does a practice week look like for you?
It's changed. I'll be honest with you, I've not done much practicing in the last 6 months. I really haven't. I've been playing from golf course to golf course. Try to do the odd range session here and there just to keep things kind of ticking along. But I mean, so at the moment, I'm not really doing what I'm meant to be doing. I want to get back into practicing. I think it's so important to actually put that time and effort in. I think for me, I always want to get, this is me personally, people don't have to follow this, but I do like to get like a lesson in with a coach to just try and keep things ticking along properly.
Yeah.
Probably what I want is to make sure that they will see things almost immediately of things that might be creeping into my game that shouldn't be creeping into my game. So ultimately what we're trying to do is stop them things kind of happening. And then it's a case of working on it on the range, or working, like, depends on what you're working on. If it's like your irons in your drive, obviously you're on the driving range, you're hitting balls, you want to make sure that you're getting them feels and the tempo and the things like that are kind of there. And I don't try to overdo it. Like range sessions for me, I'm quite happy hitting 100 balls and then kind of leaving it at that a little bit. Sometimes it might be a little bit more if I feel like I'm just kind of getting into a groove of something a little bit more, but it'd be 100 to 150 balls for me, maybe on a range session. Sometimes even less than that. Sometimes I just need a ticking over session just to keep things kind of moving.
Keep yourself moving. Yeah.
But then you've got but then also for me, when it comes to practice, I don't want to just keep to one area. I do want to go around the short game area. I want to do chipping. I want to do putting. Different types of chips and stuff like that is really important to kind of work on.
Yeah.
But ultimately, like for me, I don't have a typical week with it. I mean, as I said, I've not done any practicing properly for 6 weeks, 6 months rather. I've been so busy going from golf course to a golf course that really my range session is really my warm up.
Yeah.
I'm one thing I'm definitely making sure I'm doing on the golf before I hit a golf course is warm ups. I can't go into a golf course now and just hit first tee shot without a warm up. I used to go. I can't do that anymore. I need to have that loosen up. I need to make sure my body's feeling right. And I need to just know that. I mean, ultimately as well, like if you don't warm up, you can't expect to hit the ball the distances you normally get. Sometimes if you don't warm up, it could take about 8 or 9 hours before you start hitting your distances.
Well, I say if for any reason I'm running late or whatever, and it's a rush to the first tee, I'll basically have to write off the first 5 holes. Yeah. After 5 holes, I'll know my shoulders have loosened up, my back's loosened up a little bit, and I'm probably striking the ball a little bit better by that point. But I need that time to almost get myself up to temperature, so that my body can start moving how it needs to move to hit the ball. It's like the rain. Like if you go to a range session, those first few balls you hit are just, you're wondering why 7-irons go 20 yards further by the time you get up to ball 90. It's because your body's actually warmed up properly and you've stretched and you're actually ready to hit a golf ball. You've
said something very important that I never did much of was stretching, and I have to now. I've had a bit of a back injury. I think it's part of the reason why I'm not playing as well as I did before Christmas. I actually picked up a little bit of a back injury.
Okay.
In January, because I was playing with Ginger Golf, who's breaking the world record for most unique. I've got to get this right. He's broken the world record for playing the most rounds of golf at unique golf courses.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
I've got that right, and they have to be over 6,000 yards. And he was coming from Essex, near where I live, and I helped him organise play. We played 2 rounds in one day because he loves playing 2 rounds in one day. How he's done these, by the way, Sam.
The numbers are unreal, aren't they?
His body. How he's not broken down, because I did one day with him playing 36 holes, and this is the problem, I was carrying, even though it was a pencil round. I carried for the 2 rounds there, and then we ended up playing a last minute round again on the Sunday, and again I was carrying. I'd done my backing after that. That was the start of it, actually. I felt a bit tight and tense with him. Then I actually did that. He played 2 rounds. I walked with him for 2 rounds after that, and I didn't play. I thought, there's no way I can actually survive this.
No.
And then I played a week later. First ball I hit, without warming up, my back just went. Just went straight away. I went, oh no, that's not good. And then when I tried to warm up with it, and then I got to the first tee, and as you were driving, you just want to go full beans with it. And then it was like even bigger jolt. I was like, oh no, this is not good. And that was the lesson learned for me. Like I'm at an age now where I've got to stretch. I've got to warm up.
Yeah.
I've got to look after myself, because ultimately, if I don't do that, I won't be playing golf for many, many months. I'm lucky that I kind of got away with it, probably for a couple of weeks potentially. But yeah, you've got to warm up. Is one of the things now I have to do. Stretching is part of that. I mean, if I wanted to do an ideal week of me practicing, it would be stretching. It'll probably be a couple of range sessions a week, maybe 1 lesson. And the range sessions would include not just hitting balls off the range, but also a bit of short game practice and so forth there as well. I've just got to find the time to do it. But at this time of year, right? Because the night we're all working during the day, trying to practice. Game's not actually kind of the thing that you can do that much apart from if you can.
Right, if we move on to hole 6, blow up holes. What's the worst, what's your most painful blow up hole that you've ever had? Talk me through it.
Do you know what? I don't remember them. I blocked them out, Sam. Like I do. I don't. I remember kind of rounds more than holes, if that makes sense, right? I look at it more as a collective rather than. I was trying to think of like. I couldn't honestly think of one that springs to mind. There'll be some holes, like the ones that kind of always come into mind is in any kind of water hole, right? Dunking them into water, like that racks up big time. And that's definitely happened. But like specifically, I can't remember them. I just shut them out. It's probably how I am. Yeah. that's golf in a nutshell. I try to do my absolute best to just block out bad holes. Move on to the next one. I'm a little bit like that. I remember bad rounds. Like I can look at scorecards and I go, like in particular, I tell you, I won't give you a bad hole, but I'll give you a bad set of rounds, right?
Go for it. Yeah, that'd be great.
I did a recent trip to Portugal in September. Me and a few of my mates, we went over to just outside Lisbon, in Cascais. We played some really good golf courses. And obviously, being who I am, doing what I'm doing, is an expectation that I'm going to play best golf and probably should win the whole weekend, right? We played these 3 rounds of golf and I finished rock bottom over the course of 3 days. So it wasn't just one bad round, it was 3 bad rounds. No. 2 definite bad rounds and then 1 semi-okay round. But I had so much ground to even make up on. I think there's 8 of us. I finished 8th. There was so much ground I needed to make up to finish 7th at that point.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it. Like, that was how bad it was. And that can happen, right? And I don't know why it happens. I couldn't explain it. I don't know if it was being in Portugal, the terrain. I'll be honest with you, the sort of week or 2 leading up to that trip, I didn't play any golf. I went on holiday to Crete. But actually, that's a lie. I played 1 round of golf in Crete and I played okay, to be fair. I played that 1 round, hired clubs and all that. I was okay. But I turned up on that trip and I don't know what it was, but I was pig awful. I played them 3 rounds of golf with my mates, came absolute last, being an absolute embarrassment. I mean, I was barely trying to break 100. I normally, like at that point in time, as I said to you, I probably shoot somewhere in between sort of like 80 to 85 on average at that time. And this wasn't even long ago. We were talking September, and I could just about break 100. I don't know. It was one of them things. And did you know what happened, Sam? I played a 4th round. It was on the day that I was leaving, and everyone else got earlier flights, but I decided to have a later flight and go and play at golf course called Estoril. I played it on my own.
Shot lights out.
Everyone goes, of course she did. No one believes me. Like, oh, of course she shot 78. Oh, yeah, all right, mate, like that. And I'm like, no, I did. But he might have just been for me. Like I mentioned this earlier, I don't play a lot of like competition golf. And I just wondered, maybe I'm just not used to that environment. And sometimes you want to play a lot better when you're playing in competition. And I just could not translate it that weekend. Not that we were playing. I mean, we were playing for like the prestigious like Portugal Masters Trophy. That's like big claret jug and everything. We want to win it. I've won it twice before. So I should know how to deal with this situation, but I just, for some reason, couldn't deal with it. But that's mainly me for me. It's not necessarily, I don't normally have like a hole where I've shot like 12, 13, 14. I've got no stuff like that, but I've got rounds where it got out of control and I couldn't do certain things. I couldn't putt, I couldn't chip. I was all right at driving the ball that weekend, funny enough. Weirdly, you'd think that would be the thing that was the problem. I remember playing this course, for students, beautiful course, probably one of the best courses I've played in Portugal. And I was driving the ball all right. I was hitting the fairways, and then the minute I got an iron in my hand, spraying it everywhere, and then I couldn't chip, I couldn't putt, absolutely crumbled. So yeah, that was, and that, as I said, that weren't that long ago, and that was right before probably me starting playing my best golf. So there you
go. That's the big reset you needed.
Maybe it was, but it's weird how golf kind of does these things to you, I think, and at what times they seem to pop up when you play your bad stuff and then when your good stuff sort of finally arrives, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. On that Portugal trip, where's your head at the start of that second round? If you've had a bit of a blow up first round, are you going into that thinking, right, I need to do something, or are you just thinking, I'm away, I'm enjoying myself, what happens, happens? Or did you want to, like I say, the third day or third round, you're trying to make up
I'm trying to make up ground a little bit. So what it was, the way we had it set up, we played 3 days. Now the first round is normally we play over 2 days for the trophy. So say we got there on the Thursday, we play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we fly home Monday. So on the Friday, we kind of play like typically we play like a team event. We do that instead, and it's a bit of a practice round that way. I don't remember us really doing a team event this time, but it was a practice round with we had a bit of a competition, but it wasn't part of the main competition. But I remember that day, I didn't play particularly well. I don't think I was bottom, actually. I don't think I come last in that particular one. But then when I played the first proper round on the Saturday, I probably scored 20 points on Stapleford, something like that. I was well. At that point, I'm like, what do you do? I mean, at this point, I know I can't win it. I'm that far behind, but can I at least not come last is what I'm trying to work at. But I had a lot of grands, and I probably had about 8 or 9 points to make up on 7, and they got more shots than me as well. I was the lowest handicapper of the group as well, to make it even worse.
It is difficult at that kind of scoring.
It was, and I was just like, no. Me personally, I was just trying not to come last. I tried to on my utmost to not do that. Almost achieved it, but I was so far behind. Like, you kind of. But for me, the enjoyment side of it, I know what you're saying. Like, just not care about it and just enjoy it. I think that's probably what I should have maybe have gone down that route. But I was kind of like, nah, I can't finish last out of this lot, can I? But I did. So I went probably down the wrong mentality at that point in time. But
it's difficult among your mates, though, isn't it? Because you're all naturally, like, if it's people you've grown up playing sports with, you're all naturally just competitive. You can't help it. It's almost in your DNA to try and beat your mates. Especially, like I say, if you're the lowest handicap of the lot. It's almost an element of something to prove.
I'm the lowest handicapper. I'm the one that's creating golf content out of everyone, right? I'm probably playing more golf at this point than anyone else in the group. You're getting to that point where you're going, oh, well, I look like an absolute idiot. Like, I'm asking for it big time. And then the minute the trip's kind of over as a group and I go and play one round on my own, and then I start shooting a score that's more like what I normally do, it's almost like, well, that's just sod's law, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Yeah. But the pressure's off then, isn't it? It's just something that you're going to...
And ultimately, like, for me, it comes down... I mean, we might touch about this a little bit, but I think it was off, and all I focused on was a little bit more was about just filming that golf course experience as well. That took my mind off it a little bit, and that might have just relaxed me a little bit more, I think.
Yeah, brilliant. Right, but on to hole 7. Person behind the golfer. So away from golf, how does life look for you right now? Work, family, any other hobbies out, if you get time for other hobbies with the amount of golf that you play?
It's hectic. It's really hectic, but in a good way. Really in a good way, actually. Like, I've from a golf content perspective, like I've really put a lot of time and effort into what I do now, and like it's kind of like we mentioned, like back in 2024 is kind of when the golf content started, but really for me properly it was April 2025 when I started doing the series of playing every golf course in Essex, and I didn't realise that it was going to be so popular from the minute go on that. And I was only doing it on TikTok as well. I remember like the first episode I did, and it got like 55 or 60,000 views of that one episode, and I'm like, what's going on here? This is big, man. And in the next episode, similar numbers. And I was thinking, wow, this is actually something that people are actually quite interested in. And so with all of that kind of taking off, and then I've obviously started to do a few other series on the side that I've played best golf courses in the south of England, and then I've then come up with a few other series, and then I'm now doing some stuff with other like golf brands and companies as well recently that I've been really get involved in as well. So it's like a full-time job, but the difference is like I also do have another full-time job. What I haven't done recently, it's probably allowed me to kind of get away with a few things. Content at the moment can't quite pay the bills just yet. It's getting to a point where that might become a reality, and I'm going to still work really, really hard to maybe make that become a bit of that realization of a dream. Really, for me, it's a dream. The truth be told, but I run my own little business. I run my own consultancy in digital products. I work predominantly as a product manager, or basically product manager of some degree, whether you want me as a product manager, a senior product manager, a head of product, etc., all for digital products and services. I've been working on a lot of government projects over the last 3 or 4 years. I work on a contracting basis. So when the jobs and the projects are there, I'm working a 9-to-5 job doing that. But what happens with that sometimes is that you don't always get a consistent stream of work. So last year, I only worked, I think, maybe 6 to 7 months of the year. Work was kind of a bit of projects were not quite coming at that point in time. So it has
Yeah.
given me a lot of opportunity to, instead of just dwelling on that, giving me opportunities to maybe go out on the golf courses and start doing content basically, and then really start working towards actually this might be the thing that I want to do long term. So I'm not afraid to say that. I mean, I've just started a project recently. Is it the thing that I want to do for the rest of my life? Truthfully, I'll say this quite openly. No, it's not. But it's the thing that helps me pay the bills and keeps a roof on my head. What I would love to do is continue doing golf content on a more regular basis, and I'm obviously trying to work hard at that, which is where I'm kind of at the moment. So my days are pretty busy. I'm working. I'm doing loads of social media content. I've got a girlfriend I've got to keep happy as well and spend time with as well. And I'm very conscious of that and making sure that she's happy and we're doing things together and we're spending enough time. And we do, to be fair, like we do a lot of stuff together and we try to keep that balance as well. Also, I'm a fan of other sports. I'm a big football fan as well. Like, people might be aware that I'm a Tottenham fan and I go most games there as well. So that's another thing I do on the side. I mean, I don't know if that's an enjoyable hobby at the minute. I think it's quite a stressful hobby for the past few years.
Imagine.
Apart from obviously a big moment in Bilbao in sort of last May, that was nice. But I think everything else has been pretty quite stressful in that respect. So I mean, look, the golf and the content side of things for me is where I relax. I think mainly, but I do have other things that are going on in my life, obviously spending time with my missus and also trying to see my mates where I can as well. Not all of them play golf, so I've got to find other activities and things to do with them. And obviously trying to get that balance of work as well correct as well.
Yeah. You're right about the, it's like a second full-time job, isn't it? Like there'll be, I try and do some bits on YouTube and longer form stuff, which is, I've not been able to do much recently because just trying to get out in this weather's been not been the easiest. But then you almost feel guilty sort of saying, well, kids have, I've got 2 young children, so kids go to bed and then it's all of a sudden it's like, well, do you mind if I go stare at a laptop screen or a computer screen for 4 hours while I'm trying to edit this video? And, you almost feel guilty that you're walking off. You finish work, do the bits you need with the kids, and then lock yourself away in a room and basically go to work again for another 4 or 5 hours. And it's your whole day's just consumed, isn't it? So it's great that you feel that you got those, segments in your life and you can keep them separate.
It is. I think, look, people that do what we do in terms of golf content will resonate with the amount of work that it actually takes to do things. And obviously people that may be thinking about doing it as well, like my advice would be like, you've got to give it 100% effort and you've got to work hard at it. The truth is, and I think loads of people fall into this from people that start doing content of any sort, regardless if it's golf or something else, they think that they could be an instant success from the word go, or they think they're going to have that viral moment that's going to make them go. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of there's going to be loads of, we've all done it. We've all produced content where no one watches it, right? Like we've all come up with ideas thinking that would be a good idea. And then you've got like 200 views or something like that. You've just got to ride them times through. And eventually consistency, finding your own way, like with golf in particular, there's so many different niches to that. Golf's a niche in itself, right? But then there's niches within the niche. And it's finding what's that thing that works for you. And ultimately it takes effort, it takes time, it takes dedication. But ultimately the main key important thing to all of it is you've got to enjoy doing it as well. The minute you think this is a slog or a job or any kind of mindset, that's probably your time to maybe go, right, I need to have a reset here and think about, do I want to do it this way or not? You have control that. Yeah. I absolutely love what I do in a minute. Like I can't get enough of creating content, golf course reviews. Like I really found that that's my particular niche. I do want to go into other areas as well. I've started to do a little bit of that in terms of doing some content around golf equipment and things like that, which I hope would be interesting. But I do know full well that starting another niche within the niche takes a bit of time. People might not gravitate towards that just yet. I have to accept them moments as well. But I love I love the game of it all. I think actually I'm quite glad that it's not got to a situation where I don't really want, this is going to sound really weird to say from a content perspective, but I don't really want that. I don't really want big viral videos. I'm quite happy having consistent viewers and people engaging in it and actually learning the process a lot more. People just want it too quickly sometimes. I've seen it with other content creators and I think to myself, you're focusing on like that. You're not really putting the time and effort into what you're doing. You're thinking that one little video might be the blow up for you, but actually reality is it's not. You've got to put a lot of time and effort. And Sam, you know this as well. I'm not preaching to anything new here. Like, it's the way to kind of do things, really. But
I mean, doing this is a big part of me trying to find my own, not niche, because podcasting isn't a niche at all, but it's trying to use my own life experiences and my own passion in golf and what have you, and finding something that I can work on more permanently, you know, because I don't, you know, if I put an 18-hole course review up, I can't offer anything else that, you know, Joe Blogs down the road can offer. You know, I'm not sitting there thinking of the next big viral moment. Like I say, I think you hit the nail on the head with the word consistency. It's turning up, constantly posting. If you spend 5 hours on a video and it gets 5 likes and, you know, a negative comment, okay, move on. I'm sure the next one will do better. But it's repeating the process and being consistent. And the people who do want to follow you and do like your stuff, they will come and they'll turn up at some point. It's just how long you're willing to wait for it. Like, you know, you said earlier, at some point it would be amazing if this could be just your job, you know, and you don't have a regular 9 to 5. That doesn't happen overnight. You know, none of us got to the point in our careers now by turning up on day one and starting that job, did we? You know, we've all had to climb the ladder. We've all had to work hard at school. It takes time for something to be successful.
I've been willing to learn as well. You can't stop learning, especially in social media. Social media landscape changes all of the time. There's no point. Like, some people like talk about, oh, maybe I'll do a course on it. There's no point. It all changes in about three months' time, because the platforms will change the way they want to make you produce content, or they might come up with new things that they want you to do and things like that. You have to evolve and you have to kind of move with that quite a bit. Like, and I just find it all fascinating. Like, for me, I mean, I love the golf course series is for me. Playing every golf course in Essex, like, I've absolutely loved doing that. I've enjoyed the engagement that's brought. Like, I love talking to people that comment on the videos and follow it quite rigid. Like, they do, like, and it's a different audience. Like, I didn't know at first, but I get to the point now, like, and it sounds so weird saying this, but I do bump into people who recognise me now. And I think that's crazy. I think that's absolute bonkers. I even had a situation, Sam, the other day. I was in a jacuzzi. And I was sat there. The guy comes in, he looks over at me, goes, and I always get this line. This is the line that everyone comes up to me. You're the guy that does all the golf courses. That's the line I get. And this guy was there. I went, yeah, I think. He goes, you're the guy that does all the golf courses on TikTok. And I was like, yeah, I think so. It might be another, because there's a few of us. Like,
yeah.
And it's brilliant. And I get that on I mean, that's a bit of a weird place for that to happen. But the predominant place is when I go to golf courses, and you can kind of expect that a little bit. But it's brilliant, and I love talking to people about, like, they'll tell me where they play, what they think of it, places I should go and stuff like that. It's brilliant. You get that conversation going, and I always will. Like, anyone who follows me on whether it's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, I'll always try and reply to comments, good or. I don't really get too many bad comments. Golf's quite nice like that. I think the negative comments for me are very, 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 very limited. Normally, it's just. The most negative thing you get is someone's got a strong opinion about. I know, for example, I've said golf courses that I think are pretty good in the winter, and someone will turn around and say, "No, that's a shithole." Like, you'll get, but that's someone's opinion. They're valid. They've got their opinions just as valued as mine, right?
Yeah, of course.
But I don't mind it. But people will message me, and I'm quite happy talking to strangers on DMs about golf. Like, love it. I think that's just so cool, and it's so good. And I just want that to kind of continue and keep going and keep going and keep going. And hopefully I can still keep bringing really cool content that people love. And I think that's the goal that what we all want to get to, right? Is get to that point where it's like that. I don't care if, like, ultimately, if I'm getting that kind of engagement and I'm only getting like 5,000 views or 4,000 views, I'm happy with that. It gets more than that. Brilliant. Like, but ultimately, for me, I'm getting what I think I want out of it at the moment, and hopefully other people are as well.
Yeah.
So, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's the most important bit, isn't it? As long as you're enjoying what you're putting out there and what you're doing, then everything else is a byproduct of that.
It's so important. You've got to enjoy it, and, like, it's not become a chore. And I think that's what maybe happens to some accounts that have started to do it, whether it's golf or anything else. They probably just stopped enjoying it for whatever reason, and then that's the fault. But it's all about learning and going through the process and taking the the down times and learning from them rather than just giving up with it. Like, believe in yourself is kind of the main thing, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, fantastic. Hole 8, pressure, mental health. You know, I've been sort of quite open about my past experiences, and you know, golf and life can be a little bit brutal on all our heads sometimes. So when Paul's going through a tough patch, you know, whether it's on the course, like you said earlier, you know, that day when a driver's working but the irons aren't, or off the course, you know, what's your process? How do you deal with the bad days?
Play golf. It is. It's my escape. It's my escape from everything. Like, truthfully, Sam, it's my escape from. Even on Saturday, I was moaning about multiple things that were happening in and around my life at that point in time, right? As much as I probably haven't got that much to moan about in reality, you do, right? And I was whinging about this, I was whinging about that. The minute I hit my first shot on the first tee, I let it all forget. And actually, all I'm focusing on at that point in time is playing golf or filming the round or filming the golf course and things like that. And that's my switch off. And it's actually, I've realised this has been my therapy for many, many things. Like, I can overthink things. I can spiral quite quickly about things. I've noticed with golf and doing, it's the both for me. It's playing the golf and doing the content side of it. It's my therapy. It's what I enjoy doing. It's where I can, as I said, I can be creative in quite two different ways. I can be creative in terms of how I play my round of golf, but also being creative in terms of what I'm trying to capture as a visual for like everyone to come and watch and see, right? And that's how I deal with it. It's literally, I spend them 4 hours. I mean, a golf day for me is actually longer than 4 hours. I will have to say this. Quite lucky, but I normally get to a golf course 2 hours before I even play. You got that, plus always spend about an hour after. So I'm spending my whole day at a golf club. But it really helps me switch off, remove myself from any kind of negativity or anything that's stressing me out. And then it gives you that reset, basically, for me. What happens on the golf course? I mean, look, we all get, I mean, the other part of it, maybe what you're kind of alluding to as well, like, we can get stressed about our golf game at times. Like, I've really learned to not beat myself up when it comes to playing golf now. There's no point. Every now and then you're going to get a frustration. You're going to go, why have I done that again? I suppose for me, like, I've kind of removed myself away from that side of it. It probably has helped a little bit, and I alluded to this earlier on in the episode about understanding the golf swing a little bit more. I've put the time and effort to kind of understand why certain things happen with my coach, with real good coaches. Mark Davis in particular have been amazing for me. He's made me understand why I might miss it right, why I might miss it left, why I do this. So I've probably got them tools to now deal with the issues immediately, to get the fixes in, to kind of fix the stresses of when you're playing bad. But also at the same time, that's giving me the opportunity to just, you know what, relax. You're out playing golf, you're enjoying it. If I'm playing crap golf, so be it. I'll create some great content instead. So golf for me is the escape from all of the stresses of life that we all kind of have, and making sure that, like, I don't know, it just is. It is my therapy at the end of the day. That's the only way I can kind of describe it, really. That's what golf is like.
Do you think that that's always been the case with you in sports? Like I said earlier, you played an awful lot of sports as a child. Do you think that was always just your happy place, or your time away just to check out?
It was my escapism, definitely. Like, definitely was. Like, but what I will say is I put a lot of pressure on myself throughout the years of performing well. And I used to, and I remember it in particularly, like when I played football when I was a kid. I look back now and I probably played with so much anxiety because I really wanted to play well. And when you didn't play well, it really got to me quite a lot. And then that pressure builds and builds and builds, and it's not healthy. So in a way, it was an escapism and something, and it keeps your mind focused on something you love. But at the same time, it was also killing me a little bit in some respects. And I think I've now learned that actually I can't be like that. I can't keep beating myself up. I can only do what I can do. No. And I think in a weird way, creating content's kind of been that nice balance for me, where if the golf's not playing well, the content can always perform better. That could be the saviour for my day. That's I might play rubbish, but at least I can create something really worthwhile that people want to watch. And actually, what I think that's helped me do is help me play better golf, believe it or not, because I'm not thinking I need to shoot a round. I don't go now thinking I need to shoot a score. I do a bit of content sometimes where we talk about what score do we want to shoot, but I'm quite easy with myself. I kind of keep myself probably a bit of a soft target. But if I don't hit that target, I'm not going to beat myself up about it, and I can always work on getting better away from that potentially. So yeah, I don't know. I just find I find golf a very therapeutic sport. I know it can be very frustrating, and we all want perfection, but ultimately, like I feel like I'm in a good place with it, where I've got a nice balance with it, and it's maybe something that people can kind of. I'm hoping it's something that people can learn from a little bit. Is actually like you try and make the positives out of the negatives. Is the way I kind of see it.
It's like I said in the last episode, chatting with Ben and Lee from Twin to Win. I was like, we're not professionals, not by any stretch of the imagination. It's like, so why do we punish ourselves like we just lost the trophy because we shot 4 or 5 shots worse than our last round? Okay, our handicap might go up a little bit, but the reality is, you'll probably learn something from that round, and in a couple of rounds' time, that handicap will probably be back down to where it should be, and maybe trending downwards. As long as you can take something positive away from it, learn something from that round, and I think that's a great way to play around.
You nailed it there. Like I've seen guys now. I've said it to a couple of people actually, where they've lost their temper on the golf. I've lost my temper on the golf numerous times through the years, and I don't lose it anywhere near as much. Every now and then something will annoy you. That's natural, right?
Yeah.
But I don't let it fester.
Yeah.
That's the key to me now. I don't let it fester. But I see some people who are high handicappers and they're throwing their clubs around, they're swearing everything and blinded. And I go to them and say, why are you getting so upset that you get a bad shot? I said, you do realise you play off of 23. You're going to hit more bad shots than good shots. I said, do you do loads of practice? Or like one when they always go, no, I don't really play that much. Well, then why are you expecting amazing results? Like you're not put that much time and effort into being that great. So don't kick yourself when you're not going to be that great. And I think it's just sometimes it's that reality check. I know everyone wants to do well, and it's so natural. I'm the same, but it's kind of, you can't let it fester in the game of golf. It'll kill you, and it ruins the experience for other people as well. You've always been with that one guy that's kicking off. It kills the vibe, doesn't it? And you don't know what to do in that situation. I think it's better to not be that person.
I've been on rounds where like one of my mates, I know when he's got the hump because he goes dead quiet, and by the 15th, I was like, I haven't heard him speak for the last 2 holes. I was like, just got to leave him. I was like, he'll just throw a wobbler at some point. He'll get over it and he'll carry on. Yeah, like I said, we've all got one in the group, or we've are one sometimes. It's just
we've all blown up. Like I have plenty of times, but I think now I've just started to learn that don't need to be like that. Or every now and then you might go like you might throw a few swear words, but ultimately like don't try and snap your clubs. Like everyone wants to go and snap an iron like Henrik Stenson did. He done it so brilliantly years ago. I think I'd hurt myself trying to do that more than anything else. So it's not worth.
Or the embarrassing bit where it doesn't actually happen, and it's just a slight bit warped, and now you've got a dodgy club for the rest of the round.
If it does happen, you've got to go and buy a new 7-iron. Henrik Stenson does, and he just goes to whatever brand he's with, and they'll just give him another one. They can do that, can't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they are.
Fantastic. Okay, Paul, hole 9, up the last. So if we fast forward a few years, imagine everything that's gone to plan, golf, content creation. What does that picture look like for you, or what would you like it to look like? Whether it's handicap or what you're doing on the content side of things.
I like the handicap thing was the easiest question. I don't really care. Yeah. And I think that's made me play better golf. The handicap drop that I had was actually when I've switched off from it quite a bit, because you've got to remember when I talked about getting lessons and stuff, the lessons were all about how can I get myself lower as a handicapper. Well, actually, I'll tell you what did happen. That 10 handicapper that was getting lessons actually went back up to a 14 handicapper because I had to learn how to do things completely new again. I never knew how to hit a driver till about a year and a half ago, right? But there's all these things. So I actually got worse. And then it was and then there was a bit of an obsession to try and, I remember beating myself up a little bit thinking, how am I not getting better at this? Like, I know what I need to do. I can hit the ball so much better, but I can't seem to produce it on the golf course. And it took time and time and time and time And now my focus is kind of like, as I've mentioned, it's switched to content creating. When I'm playing around a golf, I'm actually thinking about how do I feel about the golf course that I'm playing, that experience, taking that all in a lot more. And it's actually helped me relax my golf game a bit to the point where I'm now hitting better rounds, but I'm not thinking about my handicap. It doesn't really bother me that much anymore. My handicap will be my handicap. And like, as cool as it's been to get down, I mean, I still can't get my head around it, but I've got down to, I think the lowest I got down to was 4.5 recently. And then I'm playing golf courses where you're adjusting your handicap to like a 2 or a 3. And you're like, how am I doing this? How am I playing? How can I score like stable thing, like for these kind of like them handicaps? But you do find a way. Like you've just got to trust yourself and believe yourself in that. But yeah, handicap, I'm not worried about. Whatever it will be, it will be. The thing that I obviously hope I can continue doing is creating content. I even said to myself, if I'm still creating content, I said this around about December time to my missus. I said to her, if I'm still creating content to the level that I'm creating in 12 months' time, I probably would have achieved the goals that I wanted to achieve with it effectively. And so God knows what it's going to be like if I'm still doing this in 2 or 3 years' time. If I'm still doing content in 3 years' time, then I believe that obviously I'm hoping it's got bigger and better. Is what I'm hoping to say. I want to get like you've gone into, right? We've been in a place where we do content like short format content, so TikTok and Instagram. As much as I still want to do that, I would love to get into YouTube golf a lot more. I love to create that. I'm still thinking of how I'm going to do that. It's not easy, I don't think, but mine's not an ideas problem. Mine's a production problem. It's kind of like, how would I produce this content it doesn't have to be of like golf content doesn't have to be like some big high production thing, right? In fact, a lot of people kind of switch off to high production stuff, I think. Don't get me wrong, you got like the big guns that it's kind of gone to that, but mostly you want something that's going to be very consumable on a YouTube format. But ultimately, that does require more than one person doing it. I think sometimes, depending on I think with golf it does. I think there's been cases where you can be a vlogger and you can do YouTube content and that works. But when we're trying to film rounds of golf, you kind of need that extra helping hand to kind of put that together and that. So I'm still trying to work out how I may do that. So I'm hoping I can go in the YouTube space at some point. I love to do more stuff like podcasting. Like this is my first actual podcast ever been on. This is my debut. I'd love to do this kind of stuff. When you said, do you want to come on this? I was like, absolutely. I want to be involved in this. I want to see what it's all about. And obviously I love your stuff, and we've met before and things like that. I thought like this is a really good one to sort of kick that off. And I'd love to do more stuff like that. But I mean, for me, as I said, as long as I'm still doing content, I'll be happy, to be honest with you. And I'm hoping that the effort that I've continued to put into that will pay off in a few years' time properly, potentially, because like it's what I love. I've realised this is what I love doing. As cheesy as that might sound, and people might not be the task. Like we all got you talked about what you would expect, like I don't know, like in years to come. Like we've got stuff in our heads that probably no one else cares about. Like let's be brutally honest, we would love to be at X amount of followers, or like, you know what I mean? It'd be like that kind of stuff. But no, my followers don't give a shit about that, and neither should they give a shit about that. The only person that cares about that is going to be us initially, right? But we want to do it because we know that with social media, with certain landmarks it gives you more opportunities, doesn't it? Exactly, ultimately, if I can get to them levels, and then whatever happens beyond that, and it's hopefully good news. As long as I keep on doing what I'm doing, enjoying my golf, enjoying doing the content side of things, mate, I am very, very happy.
That's good. Perfect. What more can you ask for that? And I'm sure it will come, mate. I mean, I've been glued to your content whenever it comes up, and it's fantastic. Like I say, the numbers represent the good stuff that you're putting out there. So I'm sure as long as that continues, although once you've got through Essex, I mean, what's the next series going to be?
This is the big question. This is something I really, really thought hard about, because, look, I do another series of like playing the very best golf courses in the south of England, right? And it's sort of my way of making sure that I don't fully 100% just keep it on an Essex lens, because I want to grow my audience wide and break. Like I've got a really good local following in Essex. Like a lot of people from the area are following me in golf and they know what I'm doing. But I want to branch out to other areas. I'm kind of trying to do bit by bit. So people from Kent start seeing my stuff, Surrey, Hertfordshire, Berkshire, etc., etc. So I started doing that series, but I do wonder whether there is another one that follows up the Essex one. I did think about maybe we embark on another county. Potentially. The obvious one would be something like Kent, I think.
Well, that's where I am, so you're welcome over here anytime.
I'm kind of looking, and the golf courses have got, there isn't actually that many more in Kent. I've looked into this. There's a few more. There's probably like somewhere between 85 and 95. I've done my research, but you've got some, the level of the top end golf courses starts to become a bigger gap. I mean, you've got Royal St George's, which is meant to be the best course in the country in Kent. So there's that big, whereas in Essex, we've only got one that's classed in the top 100 in England, which is Fulham Park, which I haven't done yet. So I don't know. That might be an idea to do. I don't know. It's kind of like, these are things that are floating around in my head at the minute. What's the next thing to do? I've got to get the Essex series done. I don't want to rush it, but I hope I can get near enough to completing that this year.
How many courses to go?
So what have we done?
Not putting you on the spot.
I think there's about 37, 36, 37. I think it's 36, 37. I've done, but with all of that, there might be a few revisits that happen. The great thing about playing every golf course in Essex for me is that I've been able to go and see all the different types of golf courses there are and the different types of clubs and how they're run. Yeah. But also like now, like when I first did this series, Sam, I weren't talking to any golf clubs. I just turned up, paid my fee and filmed it without telling anyone. But now I got to that position where I started getting invites from the clubs themselves. They got to the point where they've seen this and they go, oh, this looks good. Maybe we get him over to play our course. And then all of a sudden that starts conversations with the clubs and understanding what they're trying to do, what challenges they might have, what things they want to hope to get to. And I started then understanding some of the golf courses, started re-understanding some of the problems that they're facing, because what I was getting told in comments was, oh, don't go to this golf course, it's rubbish, like absolute tip there. But then when you turn up, you understand that there's people there working at that golf club and they've got so many things that they've got to face, but they want to get it to a far better standard than what they've currently got. So there's a few courses that have kind of hit that hit that criteria where I would just love to see them in a year's time. Ones I did last year, go and revisit them and see how they've actually progressed. Have they done the things they said they wanted to do? Like that. And I think I think there's some good stories there potentially with all of that. So there'll be a few revisits that I need to do in between all of that. But I think it's about 37 from memory that I've got left. And then we'll have to work from that point onwards. We'll have to work out what will be the next thing after that. People.
Well, I can't wait to see it. Paul, you've been brilliant. Thank you for coming on. Where can everyone find you? Across, what's your handle?
I am everywhere. Is the answer to that. So you can find me on Instagram at InstaJackoGolf. You can find me on TikTok for Pursuit for Par. You can find me on YouTube, Pursuit for Par Golf, and in Facebook. I do need to start thinking of what I might call that, but I'm just me, Paul Jackson, basically. It was all an accident, Facebook. It really was, because my Instagram was linked to my Facebook, and then all of a sudden we had like 2,500 people started following me out. And on that, I was like, oh my God, what's happening? But yeah, you can find me on that. Appreciate it. I probably need, as I said at the very beginning, I need to probably consolidate a name. So maybe get some ideas. People give me some good ideas of what I should be calling all of my channels, basically. And attention. But yeah, you can find me on all of them things. And yeah, please follow. And if you like the stuff, engage with it, comment. I don't care what you say about what I do. Like, I just love chatting to everyone on all the different platforms and getting their opinions and where to go and what they think of different golf courses, etc., etc. But yeah, you can find me everywhere, basically.
Brilliant. Thanks so much, Paul. I really appreciate your time, mate. It's been great.
Brilliant, mate. Cheers. Thanks for having us.
That was another round of 9 holes, 9 questions. Huge thanks for listening. I hope their story in golf and everything behind it gave you something to think about in your own game and your own life. If you enjoyed this episode, it really helps if you follow the podcast, leave a rating or review, and share it with a golfer who you might feel will get something from it. You can find me over on social media as Golf Saved My Life. Come say hi, tell me your favourite hole from this episode, or let me know who you'd like to hear on the show next time round. I'm Sam. This is 9 holes, 9 questions. and I'll see you on the next tee.